Hey, welcome back to Pia Talks. We are back for more true crime. If you have not already subscribed, please do. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can always be notified when I post new content. Like I said, we're back for more true crime, and I first want to send out my condolences to the victim's family, especially his beautiful little boy. My heart goes out to you and your family, and I am so sorry for your loss. This story is about a young, handsome, happy-go-lucky young man who served his country and just wanted to be a good father to his son. I will not be mentioning the son's name or showing any photos of his little boy because he deserves his right to privacy as well as his time to grieve and rebuild his life. So this story starts with a lady named Vegas. At the time when she was 27, Vegas was actually serving in our U.S. Navy, and she met a wonderful guy named Victor Saucedo, who was also serving in the U.S. Navy. He was 31 at the time. They dated for a few months, and Vegas actually fell absolutely in love with Victor. She felt that Victor was the man of her dreams. He checked all boxes for her, and she wanted a future with this man. And we can all relate to that. When we meet that one guy, we're like, wow, this could be it. However, we also realize maybe he could not be. You know what I mean? We're right there in the middle thinking, hey, it's a new romance, everything is perfect, but we all have common sense and know that sometimes what starts out perfect does not end up perfect. So just like your mom told you when you were younger, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And Victor was that kind of guy. At that moment, he was thinking, wow, I've got this son and I love him more than anything in this world. And all I want to do right now is to spend time with my son, and love on him, teach him the ways of the world, like most parents. Anyway, Vegas decided that this man was all she needed, all she wanted. She just wanted to be with him, and that was it. Vegas had a problem with all the time that Victor spent with his son and his son's mother. Now, even though they were broken up, they still maintained a really good friendship and a very good co-parenting relationship, which is what we all want. Any parents who have broken up and they have, a child that's young enough that they need to co-parent with, that's ideal. You want to be able to hang out with them and their mom, or father, so that you can still be a family, just not together as a couple. I mean, there's nothing worse than having two parents that can't stand each other. And this was not the case. Him and his son's mother got along very well, which is perfect for everyone except for Vegas. So after her jealousy and bitterness, Victor decided to call it quits. He did not want to continue this relationship because it was too much. He's not going to choose someone that he's been dating for 2 months over his son and his relationship with his son's mother, which is also understandable. We parents, well, good parents, we would never pick anybody over our child. It's just not going to roll like that. And we're definitely not going to pick someone that we've dated for a few months. Lady, no, sorry, bye-bye. Well, the problem is, I don't think that Vegas was actually working with a full basket, if you know what I mean. She was not willing to break up with him. She was not willing to walk away. This lady was not having it in any way. Breaking up with her will prove to be the worst mistake of Victor's life. And when I say that, I start to think, is the worst mistake of his life breaking up with her? Or was the worst mistake of his life was ever speaking to her? I'm going to go with ever speaking to her. Because if she had not come into this man's life, he would still be around, raising his son and probably married and have other children by now. Stories like this really upset me. Like, it really upsets me. This little boy deserves to have a dad. He deserves to have his dad. His family deserves to have their son, their brother, their uncle, their cousin. And because this woman was so infatuated She could not let this man go. I don't think this is love. I mean, I've been in love before, and this isn't love. This is infatuation. This is obsession. Yeah, she was obsessed with this man. When they broke up in 2011, she decided that she would start launching, I guess, for lack of better words, a campaign of getting this man back. It started with numerous phone calls and text messages begging and pleading him to take her back. When he decided that he was not going to take her back, he was very firm in letting her know throughout all these text messages, with all these phone calls, I'm not going to take you back. You know, it's over. We both need to move on to something else. And by all accounts, he was not rude to her. He was just being firm and saying, no, ma'am, let it go. You know, we have to break up. This relationship is not good for either one of us. Her desperation and obsession with this man ended up turning into pure rage. So in 2012, after a decade in the U.S. Navy, Victor decided, in another effort to spend more time with his son, he would leave the Navy and settle down and just spend all of his time with his son. He also joined a local university because he wanted to start a career in law enforcement. So here is a guy who was upstanding, joined the U.S. Navy, served his country, then decided to come home and try to get a job in law enforcement so that he could serve his community. This was a guy of peace, and he ended up by chance meeting someone who was not quite all there. Now here it is, he broke up with her in 2011. It's 2012, and she is still having difficulty getting over him. This went on for a full year of her going from begging and pleading to just being absolutely out of control, full of rage, trying to get him back. At one point, she went to his apartment and she smeared peanut butter all over the man's front door. She also came by and splashed paint all over his home as a bid for attention. But she didn't stop there. She also slashed the man's tires. Now I'm going to tell you this. If you think you're going to get a man or a woman back by doing these types of acts, no. Because number one, that lets them in on all of your full crazy. You are full on nuts if you think that I'm going to take you back after you have slashed all of my tires, peanut buttered my door, and then put paint all over my door. You are causing me problems. Not just the fact that I have to repair all of the damage that you've done, but also my neighbors and my apartment complex management team. They must think something is wrong with me, that I have attracted someone that is absolutely out of their mind. Can you imagine what he had to go through coming home each day from work or each day from school and not knowing what he was going to find? Or just trying to sit in the comfort of his own home and then having this bat crap crazy person out there screaming and hollering, beating on the doors and putting peanut butter on his door. Victor did everything he could to get rid of this lady, even to the point where he moved apartments. He moved, and she still was able to track the man down. He reported all of her vandalism to the police. If you can't go to the police, who can you go to? You know, the police let him know that due to the fact that she hadn't physically harmed him or physically threatened him, he was not able to take out a restraining order against this woman. I'm thinking, hanging outside the man's apartment, slashing his tires, putting peanut butter and paint all over his door, calling, texting, that's not enough. But I guess it wasn't. Victor went so far as to mention to most of his friends, letting them know my ex-girlfriend is stalking me. And friends thought, oh, he's just overreacting, or, it's just a little joke. But it wasn't. It wasn't a joke. He was at his wit's end and he thought, how can I make this stop Would she stop if I went ahead and started seeing her again? Would she stop all of the stalking, all of the vandalism if I see her again? So on October 15th of 2012, Victor met up with Vegas and he agreed that they would start dating again. Vegas was absolutely over the moon about this situation. She just knew that she had won him back. However, Victor explained to her that this was just going to be a casual dating situation, not a full-fledged commitment. I'm thinking to myself, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. You've already seen what this woman can do. I realize that he's just trying to get some peace, trying to be able to sleep at night without wondering, is he going to wake up to find something else that she's done outside to his apartment or to his car? Is he going to wake up to 1,000 phone calls and text messages? He just wants to calm the noise, and I get it. But once somebody shows you who they really are, you got to believe it and still try to back away. From all accounts, it seems that they enjoyed the night together on the 15th and they had an encounter. But again, he let her know that they are just casually dating. They are not back for a formal situation. That was not okay. As far as she is concerned, it is not all right for us not to be back 100% because she believes he is the man of her dreams. This is the man she's going to marry. This is the man she's going to have a family with. So the very next day, October 16th, Vegas Bray shows back up at Victor's house with a gun. This woman shot him 9 times with a revolver. She actually had to reload to shoot him 3 more times. Now, the thing that really, really puzzles me, you just shot this man 6 times. That break in pausing to reload the weapon did not bring you out of this trance or bring you out of this ridiculous brain fog, brain hemorrhage, back to your sense, which I don't think you had much sense, but didn't bring you back to any sort of form of reality. You continue to reload and then shoot this innocent man 3 more times. After she shot and killed him, she calls 911 to report that she had just shown up to her friend's house and found him dead. He's shot and a gun is laying next to him. She even tried to convince the police that she thought it might be a suicide. The police get there, she shows them the body and the bullets, and, he must have killed himself. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know a whole lot about forensic science. I don't know a whole lot about where guns land and all that stuff, but I do know that someone cannot shoot themselves 9 times with a revolver. That's not suicide. Yeah, I'm going to shoot myself 6 times, reload the gun and shoot myself 3 more. No. And nobody's buying it. Of course, the police take her down to the police station for more questioning because they also know this story is straight up bull. She gets to the police department interrogation and tells them that she has no idea what happened. She blacks out. She blacks out all the time. And, she doesn't understand what they're talking about. She hasn't done anything. She blacks out. She was arrested on the spot and charged with first-degree murder, and bail was denied, which, of course, who would give her bail? You just killed an innocent man, a father. For what? Because he didn't want to be in a fully committed relationship with you, who is absolutely out of your mind? And the only reason he was with you in the first place was to get you to stop harassing him? So in her initial hearing, she pled not guilty because she was blacked out. And when she came to, Victor was on the floor already dead, and she had no idea what happened. When the prosecutor interjects and says that She was absolutely jealous of the time that Victor spent with his son's mother and with his son. She yells out, jumps up out of her seat in court and says, "I was never jealous. I'm not going down for something I don't remember." Well, of course that prompted the judge to actually send her for a mental health evaluation. I mean, didn't you see that coming? Let's see if she's mentally able to stand trial. Absolutely she is. She's crazy, but she wasn't that kind of crazy. In November of 2015, Vegas had her day in court. She still insisted that she was innocent. The jury heard the history of her and Victor's relationship. They heard about the ultimate obsession, the stalking, the harassing, shooting him to death simply because he did not love or want her the same way she wanted him. The prosecution let the jury know that she felt spurned. She was upset, she felt rejected, and this was her way of getting revenge on him. If she can't have him, nobody's gonna have him. So she gunned this innocent man down in his own home. The defense did that whole song and dance they always do. Oh, she's a victim. She had a hard childhood. She was abandoned. She has mental health problems and anger issues. Well, that should have been somebody else's problem, like somebody in her family maybe. Maybe if people in her family knew that she had some issues, they could have got her some help early. Or warn people. Tell people who you know she's dating or friends with. Now you know she's a little bit off. Something, give people a little warning. In the end, the jury convicted her of first-degree murder. She ended up being sentenced to 50 years to life in order to pay $5,000 restitution. Personally, I don't think $5,000 is enough, but okay. Victor's family spoke out during the sentencing, and they expressed how good Victor was and how much he loved his son and he loved his family. And a representative for the family let the court know that his son, who was 9 by 2015, missed his dad so much. And I mean, I know he does. And this is terrible. We all go through heartache. We all go through breakups. And sometimes when you go through a breakup, it feels like a death, you know, especially when you are married to somebody. But you have to find that strength to pick up and move on. You can't stalk them. Don't harass the person. Leave them alone. And I think one of the true forms of showing you love somebody, if you really, really love somebody and they don't love you back, you have to let them go and let them find love somewhere else. It might hurt like hell. It really does. Like, thinking about it makes me upset. It does hurt. But you have to let them live. Let them be happy. And you have to go try to find your little piece of happiness somewhere. Somewhere in this world, some man who was probably crazy would have loved Vegas Bray as well. They could have been crazy together. I mean, all I can think of, that poor little boy missing his father. Victor's parents, Victor's brothers, Victor's, sisters. I don't know if he has sisters, but everybody who loved him should be with him right now. And they're not, because of one woman's selfish obsession, stalking needs. Her needs were more important than anybody else. It's not right what happened to Victor Saucedo. And unfortunately, it happens all the time. There has to be a better way. And when he went to file that restraining order, they should have let him. But one thing that we should learn from this, when you tell somebody that it's not going to work and they show you violence, don't take them back. Don't take them back. Don't let them back into your life, because you could end up being hurt or killed, and it's just not worth it. God bless the Saucedo family and everyone else who was hurt by what Vegas Bray and her selfish actions caused. And until next time.